Hey guys, what is up? This is Cody, or xCodeh. How's it going today? Hopefully everybody watching this video is having yourself a snazzy day. Let me know in the comments down below where you're watching the video from, inside or outside of the United States. The story happens when I was about 16 years old, a sophomore in high school. It was a lunch period. I had just gotten my lunch, had the chicken wrap in hand. I know it's a shell shock to hear these words come out of anybody's mouth in America, but the school lunch was pretty good. I remember walking outside to eat and it was fiercely cold. This was the last day before Christmas break. And I'm sure you're wondering, why didn't you just eat inside the cafeteria? And the reason was because I'm going across the street to smoke a cigarette. Of course, every single lunch would go and do it. It was a great time. I'd take my chicken wrap with the tray and just casually walk right across the street, eat the lunch, put the tray down, smoke a cig. It was bliss. I'm about halfway to my destination, halfway to the crosswalk, halfway to bogey season. One of my best friends comes up to me and he's just like, yo, looks at me all sketchy. He's scheming. He's got something going down. He looks at me and he's like, yo, I got medical weed right now. And I look at him like, what? Medical marijuana was something that I'd heard about. No one that I knew had even seen it at this point. My friend was telling me all these stories recently about how his mom was friends with someone with a medical marijuana card and they'd go over his house with edibles and he'd get fucking blasted. So I was super excited to try it. And I'm like, you have some right now? And he's just like, yeah, dude, I got a joint rolled up. We're gonna go to the secret bench in the woods and go smoke. And I'm like, in the back football field? And he's like, yeah, dude, the secret bench, it'll be fine. So in the back of my school, there was this giant football field. And in the back of the football field, there is this secret little path that you go into and the trees would cover it so no one could really see. And on top of this hill, I think maybe football players of a previous generation, previous class, grabbed the picnic table and just kind of put it in there in the dirt, kind of just like grabbed the picnic table and then put it right on top of the hill. So as you sit on the picnic table, your legs hang over and there's a stream underneath. It's a really chill spot. I had been there before to smoke cigarettes, but I'm thinking to myself, quick thinking in my head. Number one, I take 1 or 2 hits off of that sticky icky and I'm fucking blasted. If you guys have seen the movie Spaceballs, when they go into ludicrous speed and everything just gets all faded and crazy, that's how my mindset was when I take a couple hits. And to top off the cake, the cherry on top, medical weed? Whoa, I guess those two things overpowered the will, the want to go and do this. And I looked at my friend and I'm like, dude, you're gonna get arrested. I'm not doing that. You're crazy. Which was a shock to even me. I surprised myself. This was like a moment where I was like, whoa, I actually did the right thing. Because at this point in time, listen, I was all about the fun. I was all about doing anything I could to have fun. I'd skip school, leave class, do everything. Run from the security guard. It's fun times. But this just seems too far. I was never really one to want to smoke weed openly or just even privately at school. Like, it just seemed like overly bold and brass. I could see the disappointment in my friend's eyes. But then I saw him kind of go back towards a group of friends, so I didn't feel bad at all. So he had friends to go there and do that with. It's not like I was ditching him or being like, nah, go and do that by yourself, bro. And that was that. I remember I continued on, went across the crosswalk, ate my chicken wrap. Probably had Wiz Khalifa cushion orange juice playing on my iPod Touch headphones. Maybe Cabin Fever. Smoked my cig. Probably talked to people for a couple minutes. There's usually a couple core people that would go over there during lunch to do the same thing I did. So I finished my cig, grabbed my trash, started to head back. I'd always time it. So every time that I'd leave the across the street spot, by the time that I made it to the door, to the hallway, it'd be passing. So there'd be a bunch of kids passing by and you'd kind of just like stand outside like a lost puppy, tapping on the door like, hey, let me in. You'd be so surprised. It'd be like standing at a crosswalk. Like, you'd be so surprised how many people, especially like the nerdy kid, they look at you like, look at this kid breaking rules. Don't let him in. Let him sit out there and suffer in the cold. They give you that look. Like, you could just tell that's exactly what they were thinking. Then there'd be that one chill guy like, hey, I know what you were doing. Come on in. So I got let into the school. I walking up the stairs to my next class. And on the way to my next class, I gotta walk past a specific room, a very, very specific room. One of the vice principal's offices. Giant glass window. And as I'm strolling by, peripheral vision, corner of my eye, I see my homie. The same homie that came up to me and was like, hey, let's go smoke this weed on school property. And I look at him and he's looking down at the ground. He's got a look on his face that I had never seen before. This guy, he was the iron lung champion. We'd give him bong rips, and he'd finish the bong rip, and we'd pack more and light it, and he'd keep going. This guy was nuts. I had never seen him get too high whatsoever in his entire life. The man could just keep smoking, but not this time. I remember opening the door to the vice principal's office. The secretary lady was like, "What are you doing in here? Get out." And I'm like, "Yeah, listen, hold on a second." I go over to my friend and I'm like, "Yo, dude, what happened? Are you okay?" And he like slowly moves his head up and looks at me and he's just like, "Dude, they caught us on the cameras, man." His eyes looked fucked. I'd never seen his eyes that bad. He looked like he was drunk and high. He didn't even look stoned. He looked fucked up. There was a 0% chance that he was sober. Like there was no hiding it. This was like an allergic reaction level of red. On top of the entire office smelled like the best weed I'd smelled in years, probably. I don't remember exactly what I said to him, but I just gave him the, "Good luck, dude. I hope everything works out." Then the secretary lady was like, "Get out of here, get to class," gave me the "get the fuck out." So I remember as I was walking out of that room, the dean of students rolls up with another vice principal. They're both walking in. "Hey, how's it going?" to my friend. I'm like, "Oof." I'm walking to my class and I'm thinking to myself, damn, my after school plans probably not happening today, huh? So I remember texting my friend, "Hey man, let me know what happens." I didn't get a text message back. The day ended. I went to where the buses pick you up. As I'm walking up to my bus, I see my friend and I'm like, "Bro, what the fuck happened? Why didn't you text me back?" His phone died. He had me thinking he was arrested the whole entire day. His phone died, but he came up to me and he's just like, "Dude, I've got to tell you something." He's got this super happy look on his face. What could possibly have gone right about this scenario? So we both get on the bus. I sit down next to him and I realize something. I'm like, "Dude, you still smell like weed. Like that weed is that strong. You smoked it that long ago and it still fucking smells." And he's just like, "Dude." He went into the principal's office after I left with the dean of students, the other vice principal. They all sat him down into the room and were like, "Man, we know what you did. We caught you on the cameras. We could see the smoke coming out of the woods," which was probably bullshit. Like, how the fuck would they ever see that? This was at least like 500 feet away. Like, this was far away from the cameras. They saw him and a group of kids walk out there and then walk back like 20 minutes later. So they knew they went out there and did something. And on top of it, they smelled it in the room. And they asked him, they're like, "All right, empty your pockets. We know you have something." So he pulls out this like little tiny roach with like 1 or 2 hits left and a tiny bud that was in the bottom of a pack of cigarettes. He puts it on the table. He's thinking he's gonna get arrested. I would have loved to be there. I would have loved to tell you exactly what they said, exactly the details. Listen, the deets. But somehow, some way, this vice principal looked at him in the face and was like, "Listen, man, you were to never bring this to school ever again, and I don't want anybody knowing about this. But you take this and you get on the bus, okay? Never do this again." The vice principal gives him the cush back, gives it back to him with the dean and another vice principal in the room. I didn't believe him. I was like, "Yeah, okay, bro. Yeah, nice one, man." We get off the bus. He pulls out the pack. I still, to this day, don't know if he like somehow hid it. They didn't find it. And he was like lying to me or something. But dude, I saw him in there. I saw the vice principals walk up. I saw everything go down. And that was the time that I avoided probably getting arrested. I don't know what would happen to me, actually. It probably would have been another life story, but it would have been a more detailed life story for you guys if I joined in on this day. But definitely would have gotten in trouble. I always tell you guys to never smoke weed at school, because honestly, bringing weed to school and smoking at school is probably one of the dumbest things you can do. I remember seeing multiple people in high school go through that same bullshit, including myself at one point. Luckily, I didn't get caught in the loop and violate probation and have it go on for multiple years, but I saw that shit happen way too much. Kids get fucking caught with a gram of weed at school. They get 6 months probation. They think they can smoke weed and get a dirty piss test and be okay, but now they got 3 years probation. I remember there was another time where my friends asked me to go and smoke. Very similar scenario, except they were just going across the street. When they came back, the security guards and the vice principal was waiting for them at the door that they came out of. They searched everybody. They found a little tiny piece of resin at the bottom of my friend's backpack. He got 6 months of probation for it. Compare that to the story I just told. Like, fucking crazy. Leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. I really hope you guys did. Don't be a jabroni and bring kush to school. Huge thank you to everybody who's been supporting me on Patreon. I'll put a list of all the names on screen right now. For $1 or $2 a month, you can support the channel and get access to the secret unlisted videos that I've been making over on Patreon. Link in the description for more information. Thank you for spending the time out of your day to watch my video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Stay high, stay lifted, stay snazzy.